Hi everybody, it's me again, now with less hair. Thank God I was able to cut it down this week. My quarantine look, it was a mess, oh my god. Well, today I want to talk about the first version of my books that I mentioned in the first video. The first one was the electronic version that I published back in 2014, and the first hard copy also that I published in 2017. So the first one, the electronic version, the Alfheim, El Puente de las Heras in Spanish. This was the cover, of course. I liked this cover at that time. I really liked it, and it was a good effort because I made it from scratch. I didn't even know how to make a proper cover. I didn't research enough at that time. So I was also in a rush because I want to publish the book as quickly as possible. So I made a lot of mistakes, for sure. And the cover, I have to admit, it's awful. This cover is awful. But it was a good effort. It was a good effort. Here, what I can save is a tree. This particular tree is very important for all the story, and actually I'm still using this design nowadays, because this tree, it has a very deep meaning that I'm not going to make spoilers of why, but as you can see here, it forms an elven female, a female elf here. You can see the forehead, the nose, the lips. Here is the ear and the hair. So yeah, this tree is very, very important for the story. The other addition, the difference of this book against the first physical version was the map, because I only include a specific part of the map. This one. Just a specific part of the map, and the map was also very, very bad. I admit, it was bad. At this time, it was bad. I guess it was a good effort, but it could be better, for sure. I learned many, many things after this. So, 3 years later, I came out with this first physical copy of the book Alfheim, El Puente de las Heras. As you can see, it was huge. Oh my god, it's bigger than my head. So yeah, it was a huge book. I cannot say more. Here the cover, for sure, it was more professional. The title, the fonts, still some improvements that I made after. As you can see here in the medallion, is the same tree. I kept that tree, and that tree remains still today. So, what was the main difference with this book versus the first electronic version I published? Well, first of all was the maps. Here I include the whole map of Atnalia, because if you haven't read my webpage, this world is not in the planet Earth. It's a different world, in a different galaxy, and this world is called Atnalia. And this is the whole map. This is the whole map, and this is just the same first part that I included in the first edition. These maps were drawn by hand and then digitalized. So that was another special point of this book. And the last one, I wanted to add a plus, and for that I decided to include an appendix, but it was a very, very special appendix. As you may know, or if you don't know, you're going to know now, I have, besides humans, I have 3 other races in my books. The elves, the Kratnahum, that are creatures similar to dragons, and the Ruforitas. Those 3 main races those 3 have their own religion, their own social structure, their own language. So, after many months in 2017, thinking what can I add as an appendix of the book, I decided to include the language of the elves in this case, the first language of the first races. That its name, the name of the language is Ahalium. As you can see here, well, here maybe you cannot see it, don't worry, I'm going to include a full post of this in my webpage. Is the name, in this case this is the name of the book and the name of the language, in this case in human letters and in the Althalium symbols. If you want to know how to pronounce, for example, this one would be the language Althalium, the Lemt Nechtwein House. So, yeah, it's kind of, the pronunciation is kind of similar to German, mixing with Russian, with a little of English and some Spanish things. It's kind of crazy the way I pronounce it. Here I include the main vowels. As you can see here, the letter A is the symbol. It's called hast. And how do you pronounce it? The secondary vowels. And if I go forward, the consonants, all the consonants, how you pronounce those words. Of course, in Spanish, I'm planning to also to translate this to English for sure. The accents, the punctuations, the numbers, and at the end, the first glossary of the first 50 words of this language. I'm not going to stop in that longer because the time is running out. So yeah, this was the first version of the book. I left this one like a special edition because I sold less than 200 copies in Mexico. So yeah, it was very special for me because it was the first book that I actually start presenting back then. And well, the new samples, as you can see, are completely different. The designs are of course, are professional. If I open them, sorry for that. If I open them, the maps that I made here, of course, change completely. The maps, the quality of the maps here, I'm proud. I can say that I'm proud of the work I made here, for sure, for real. So, what is the main difference? Why this is huge, big one, and this one are shorter? Well, guess what? After receiving some feedback from some publishers back in Mexico, I decided to cut the book in two. So this first book at that time includes almost the whole second book that is now of the new version, and of course the whole first book. So that's why that's the difference, and also that in these new versions I didn't include the appendix. At the end, I didn't include actually anything. It's blank. I'm not planning to include the language as an appendix anymore. It's gonna be available only online in my webpage. And as you can see here, one funny thing that I want also to highlight. The tree is the same tree. I left it here. So yeah, this is what I want to talk about, and I already spoke too much. So thank you so much for watching me again, and I hope you are starting to like a little more, or you are wondering to know more about these books, about the story. I promise you it's very, very interesting. It's very, very good story, and hope I see you soon, and wish you a wonderful, fantastic day. Take care.